Craftsman podcast is sponsored by Hayfla. Hayfla offers a wide range of products and solutions for the woodworking and furniture making industries, from hinges and drawer slides to connectors and dowels, sandpaper, shop carts, wood glue, and everything in between. Exclusive product lines such as Lux LED lighting and Slido door hardware ensure that every project you create is built to last. Learn more at hayfla.com.
Wow, I feel good.
Welcome back. Rob is absent today. He's a little under the weather, but I am joined by our good buddy Keith.
Hey, everybody. How you doing?
Two Bit Woodworks.
Yes.
Before I forget, there's a paper. It's probably the top paper over there. Yes. You're going to have to be the fill-in ad read today.
All right.
So we'll find a segue into that somewhere about halfway in.
Okay.
If I don't forget, which happens pretty much every week.
All of them?
The pink is you.
Pink is me.
So yeah, what's been up?
Not much. Just got in a new house about a year and a half ago.
Mhm.
Finally starting to get the shop kind of moving. Starting actually recording again. I've been getting a lot of not a lot. I've gotten a few messages saying, hey, we haven't seen any videos from you in a while. Like, what's up? What's going on? So it's just been I think ever since I had the shoulder surgery, it's kind of been like, I'll work in the shop and then I'll take a break, and then I'll work in the shop and then take a break. And soccer has a very strong hold on free time.
Yeah, so we were talking about that at Maker Camp. That's the last time we saw you was Maker Camp.
Yep.
And so your son was on what, 2 travel teams?
He plays for one travel team, but he's on like the A and the B team.
Mhm.
He's kind of in between. There's some controversy with that, but it is what it is. It is soccer, it's pay to play system, but
Yeah.
he enjoys it. He has fun with it, but it takes up a lot of time.
It's crazy. When we were kids, did you play sports?
I did. I played soccer, hockey. Yeah.
Yeah, I played football, lacrosse. And I feel like there was definitely a time commitment. Maybe it's because I didn't play soccer. I think soccer is pretty hardcore. But it wasn't like, I feel like it wasn't as big of a time commitment back then.
Yeah, absolutely. I did like the New Jersey State team for a while. I was a goalie. I was pretty good.
Mhm.
And now there's all these academies and everything. And that's where he plays, is at an academy. So, we're in a new league. So we're going up. Like Saturday, he's got a game in Connecticut.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So, we've had games up Pier 40, which is really cool. We've had some in Queens, Bronx, Manhattan. So we're getting really cool backdrops on this. And it's a good experience for him.
Yeah.
You get the chance to go out with some teammates after and get dinner or whatever. But, it's a good experience, but it's the miles, the gas, and the time is just.
Yeah. And, when it's your kid, you're like, you got to do it.
Yeah. And he loves it. He loves it. Like, we just sent him some new training on Monday, and because he was kind of like losing it a little bit at fire. And he got there, and like halfway through, he was just like, oh, this is fun. And my wife and I were like, oh, it reminds us of this, like that Ted Lasso episode where, they brought one of the guys back to like regain that fun out of it. And he did. And like he had real training for his team on Tuesday. And it was just like a light switch again. And he was just on fire. So it was good.
Yeah. You got to keep it fresh. I guess if you play with the same people all the time and it could get dull.
Yeah, it gets stale, same training over and over again. So we tend to 3 days a week is his travel team or his academy team. And then we do one day with a personal trainer and maybe one day doing that other training. So, and then sometimes games Saturday, Sunday. So there are times, I think our streak is 13 or 14 days straight with soccer.
What position does he play?
Striker.
So that's what, like a
forward.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't really know soccer, but
yeah.
So my wife actually just joined an adult league.
Nice.
And they play, where the hell is it? I want to say it might be Wall Township. So she just turned 37 and hasn't played soccer in probably over 20 years. So she joined her sister who's turning 40 and another girl that they know who's younger. But so yesterday they had their first I don't think there's practice. It's just like games. It's like
Right.
it's like when my son played soccer
Exactly.
for 5-year-olds. It's like you just show up, practice is just for like 3 minutes, and then they play 2 games.
Yep.
And she's like, "Yeah, we got beat 11-1."
Yeah, that sounds about right. Yeah, they have a lot of leagues, like adult leagues in Tinton Falls.
Mhm. Maybe that's where it is.
The Capelli complex.
Yeah, that's the one. Yeah.
That's where my son plays like full time. So that's their home fields.
Where is that? Is that like where Capelli is?
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah. So it's the Capelli. It's off of
Behind ShopRite.
No, it's up by. I want to say off of Hope Road up that way.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I'm thinking of on Shrewsbury Avenue. You know, like the Shrewsbury ShopRite.
Oh yeah.
Isn't that Capelli right there too?
I don't know.
Something like a
No,
name
the,
like
one,
that.
the one we go to is the one up by where Fort Monmouth used to be. It's up that area. So
Yeah, that's
you know where the Wawa and the Tractor Supply is?
yeah,
it's up
that
way.
part of Fort Monmouth. Yeah, okay. Like Shafto Road.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
So yeah, it's nice. It's fun.
I never played soccer. I don't think I would have been cut out for it.
All the running.
Not much of a runner.
Yeah, neither am I. So that's why I still don't play.
I did play attack. Well, attack, I don't know what the equivalent would be in soccer, but attack is like you're on offense, you stay on that side, you stay on the opposing team side.
Yeah, it's
like
striker.
Yeah, you run a little bit, but not. Yeah, I'm not running up and down like a midfielder.
Right. Yep. Yeah, that's what my son does. He stays up kind of front. Yeah, it's nice. You move him around.
Does he have aspirations of like? Is that what he wants to do? He wants to be a soccer player?
He does. He wants to be a soccer player, but he also wants to play for his school.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a big thing he wants to do is because we've told him, like, we played for our school. My wife played for her school. So in middle school, they're going to have a soccer team. So he wants to try out for that. He wants to play in high school. I mean, if he goes pro, great. If he doesn't, that's fine too, but he wants to play for school. So we're kind of urging him to go that route. So there's certain leagues and places he can and can't play. So where he's at now, he couldn't play at school. So we've got to just kind of figure out what he wants and go from there.
Yeah, it seems like soccer has like a different structure there where like playing football and lacrosse, it's like you played in the rec leagues, not, whatever, Pop Warner football or the whatever the local lacrosse team is, until you could play in school. Then it's like nobody played in those leagues anymore because they only went to maybe 8th grade at the highest.
Right.
Because in New Jersey, there's not really middle school football teams.
No.
So you play Pop Warner till 8th grade, then it's done, because you go to high school. But it seems like soccer, there's like a contention between like playing for a school or playing for this, like ED, was it EDP?
Well, there's EDP, but that's still kind of at now. It's funny the way that soccer is created. Soccer used to be rec. It was rec. And then you played travel and it was like travel and, so intense. And then it became kind of everybody was just making travel. And then so we moved up to an academy, and that was like, to make an academy, it's you have to have it.
Yeah.
And then now that's kind of becoming like, there's some kids that we've seen play, and it's kind of like maybe like an academy, especially with the cost involved. It's not, the route that they should be going.
Yeah.
But, it's nice that he gets to be friends and meet other kids outside of the area. I wish it was closer because now that we're at, it's about a 40-minute drive, 3 days a week, plus all the travel, the game. Yeah. I mean, it's a lot, but when your kid just enjoys something.
Yeah. Yeah. It would be one thing if you were the one pushing him to want to play,
Right.
Which I don't think people should do anyway. I mean, you push a little bit, but
right.
You shouldn't be like, my kid's going to be a soccer player,
Yeah. Yeah. He's asked sometimes, can I go to this training, or can I, his personal trainer is Ollie. And he's like, can I go train with Ollie this week? I'm like, all right, let's see if he's available. And he comes out to Jackson and does a nice hour training. And
well,
yeah. But again, cost, time.
Yeah.
gets expensive.
Yeah.
We don't add everything up.
I can only, best to just just pretend it's not happening.
Yeah, I mean, because you got winter league, you have winter training and futsal and spring break camp, and he's got summer camps. He went to a summer camp last summer. It was 8:30 to 8:30 every day.
Wow. I remember like baseball kids would go like, they're like, yeah, we're going to spring training in Florida. I'm like, that sounds like pricey.
It is, yeah. And he's doing a camp. He's actually that same camp, but he's going to be sleeping over there this time. So that'll be nice for him.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. At 10, that's like probably a huge deal.
Yeah. Yeah. So he'll be 11 by that time, but still it's a big deal for him and for us.
Yeah. Yeah. But like I was telling you, my niece is 10, and kids at 10 now are like, they seem a little more mature than probably when we were 10, but they're still 10.
Yeah, they're still 10. Yeah. Yeah. They still cry when they lose.
Yeah. They might think that they're mature, but they're not.
Yeah. That's true.
So you've been building out the shop. You're building some drawers and some storage and stuff.
Yeah. Finally working on building out some storage. Tired of looking through boxes to find stuff. You know, it is, I get these projects here and there, and I kind of have to step back from doing the shop stuff.
Yeah.
And then I can't find stuff. So now I got to go buy a tool that I know 150% that I have.
Yep.
So now, you know, my wife's like, didn't you have one of those? I was like, I do. Do you want to go find it? She's like, just buy it. I'm like, thank you. No.
It's in the bottom bin underneath of the 10 other bins.
Yeah, exactly. You know, you got those black bins with the yellow lids. They got like 8 of them on some dollies, and I just can't find anything. So the storage is getting built out right now, and so we're getting there. We started from scratch again.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
We're still finding stuff from when we moved. So I just got this. It's a pressurized, like a sprayer. Like it's an aluminum bottle that has a what do they call it? A Schrader valve, like a bike tire.
Right.
And you can pressurize it and have like a pressurized spray of whatever you put in it. I got it for water for those pre-glued dowels.
Okay.
So I could like dose the water out into the holes.
Right.
And I'm like, I know we have a tire inflator somewhere.
Oh, yeah.
There's just that little fitting. I couldn't find it anywhere.
No.
I had to get we have a 18 volt Makita inflator in the van.
I have the Milwaukee one.
Yep.
And it goes with me everywhere. Maker camp, anywhere. Goes with me.
Keith was using that. Keith Blackthorne was using that at Maker Camp to charge up the t-shirt cannon.
Yeah. Yep.
I couldn't find it for a second. I'm like, damn it. I'm like, did Keith give that back to me? It was like buried in the back of the van.
Yeah. There's too many Keiths.
Yeah, there's a lot of Keiths. There's a lot of Matts and a lot of Robs.
Yeah.
In the woodworking tent, there's 3 Robs.
Yeah, that's true.
Rob Barone, Rob Bliss, and Rob DeMarco.
Nuts. I think we got a picture at Maker Camp. There was like 6 of us.
Yeah, somebody posted that recently.
Yeah, Mark posted it.
Yeah, it was you, Keith Drennan. Who else? Keith KJ Sawdust was he in there?
Sawdust, Keith Decent, Shipwright Skills. I can't remember.
Okay, yeah.
And then another guy, Keith Wojcicki.
I'm horrible with names.
Yeah, I can't pronounce his last name.
I recognized everyone in the photo, but
yeah, exactly.
I have that problem where when somebody tells me their name, I don't hear it.
In and out.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know exactly what you're saying. Especially at Maker Camp.
It's brutal. Oh, yeah.
Maker Camp. It was so many people.
And at Maker Camp, like, I see people and I think I know who it is sometimes, but I'm not, because I know everybody, most of those people just through Instagram.
Right.
So I'm like, I'm pretty sure that's, so-and-so, but I don't know for sure.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But it's a good time though. I'm glad I got to go again this year.
Yeah. Got word that Highland is going to be the sponsor again for the woodworking tent. So
that's great.
Yeah. Hopefully start planning that soon because it's March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October. It's only 6 months away.
Yeah.
And it takes, with all the back and forth, takes 6 months to plan.
I can imagine. Yeah. I think I'm going to be actually just going this year, just enjoying it. The last couple of years, I've had a good time, but I haven't really got to do and make and stuff. So I've been doing the Makers for Jesse stuff, which is great. I think I'm just kind of want to go 1 year and just enjoy it.
Yeah, you pass the baton to somebody else for next year.
Exactly.
Last year with the rain, that didn't help, but we didn't get to do anything.
Yeah.
The year before, same thing. But that was our first year, like, instructing. I think had it not been raining so hard, we probably would have been able to sneak away.
Oh, I'm sure.
But we'll see. I'm going to plan again this year to try and be able to.
Yeah. The rain was nuts.
That was crazy.
It was horrible.
I was talking about that with somebody. Yesterday with John, and the guys from New Doors were over. We shot a video about cabinet doors, and yeah, it was like, I didn't see it, but John was saying the pavilion was just like a river.
Yeah.
Of like 3-inch high water going through it.
Yeah, we were sitting at the table, me and my buddy JD, and we're just kind of sitting there, and all of a sudden, I'm like, what's going on? Like, you tap your foot, and all of a sudden you hear like a puddle.
Mm-hmm.
You could just watch the water just come through, and I was just like, oh, this is not going to be good.
Yeah, we had a river going through the woodworking tent, but thank God we were on blacktop.
Right.
So it was coming through, but it was moving fast. And
it was, yeah. Yeah. That big field was just a muddy mess.
Oh, yeah.
Nasty.
We watched people all day trying to walk up that little hill to the woodworking tent.
Yeah.
A lot of people didn't make it.
Oh, hey, survival of the fittest, right?
Yeah. Yeah, just going to like go to the bathroom was treacherous.
Yeah. It was a lot. Yeah. Took a while to dry everything out, that's for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, a lot of people were like, man, I only brought like one pair of boots, you know?
Exactly. But are you guys going to do the same thing this year? You're going to have like a project that people are going to build?
I think that's probably the best way to go. I think that's what people are looking for, Like to be able to take something home is a big, that's what all the other tents do. You go to the blacksmithing tent, you make a bookmark or a hook or something, you get to take that home. You go to the, you get your thing cut out and powder coat it, take it home, welding tent.
Yeah.
So I think that's definitely what we're aiming to do. I don't know what Highland is going to want to do. I was talking to Bliss a little bit today. He said that, they're not positive on ideas yet, but we're receptive to whatever they want to do too.
Yeah, absolutely. That's cool though.
Yeah, it's tough to think of something sort of quick like that, that you can, like woodworking usually takes a while.
Right. Yeah, you got to have everything kind of prepped.
Yeah, unless it's just something that you like sand and finish and take home, but that's kind of like
one of those wine drinking, paint a piece of wood and
Pinot's palette.
Yeah, yep.
Yeah, it could be like I don't know,
like a salt box or something.
Yeah, that only takes like
takes a laser and a whole bunch of time.
Oh god, yeah. I finally got that file, so I used the same file last time that I used for the batch before that, and I made a little tweak to it.
Yeah,
I was doing 3 at a time. The laser will hold 4, but I get better smoke extraction when there's 3 because obviously there's less. The smoke gets sucked out from the bottom.
Okay.
When I'm making that dado, it makes a lot of smoke because I'm making a 1/8 inch by 1/8 inch dado on 4 pieces. So that laser's just going across and just vaporizing the wood, and making smoke. And the smoke makes the lens dirty and the cut gets bad. So I made it into 4 again, but I slowed everything down a little bit knowing that I have the time.
Okay.
So now it's like 49 minutes for 4, which is pretty slow.
Yeah. Could you cut the dado on the table saw?
Yes, but then, you got to handle all those pieces.
Right.
It would probably, it would time-wise, it would equal out. But when it's on the laser, perfect. I'm not touching it. So it's, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Kind of hands off.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That's good.
Yeah. The, actually, well, the one thing is the little sides they have a stop dado. So.
Oh, yeah.
Let's see. I think I have it right here. Oh no, the front and the back have a stop dado. Yeah. So to do that.
Yeah. It's going to take some time.
It's a pain. Yeah. Be like with a chisel.
Yeah. Forget that. Yeah.
Yeah. You can see like I even, it runs past here so that I make sure 100% that it clears it all out. Yeah. So that's the file.
That's nice.
version. This says 14. It's really 15.
15. And you're working on 500 more?
Yeah. So I think I have one layer on that table's 90. So there's probably like 80, 85 on that table now.
Okay.
So it'll be like 6 high. I just stack them up. They come off of the laser. They go on the table. When one layer's filled, they put a piece of cardboard and just keep stacking. Yeah. So the last time we did 650 and I was using a different table, it was 10 layers high.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
It's got to be intimidating to like, I still have to do all these other steps.
Mm-hmm.
It's not just laser.
Yeah, it's a lot. You know, it's cut them out, sand parts of the lid, parts of the sides, parts of the front and the back, put a rabbet on the bottom, put a round over on the lid, drill the holes for the hinge in the lid, assemble it, put the pins in for the hinge, and then sand it on the belt sander, sand it by hand, break all the edges, finish it. And then you got to buff the finish a little bit.
Right.
So people John came and made that video 2 years ago or whatever it was, $100,000 laser project. It's called, which is, it's a little clickbaity because it's not 100,000 for us. That's like the total sales because 1,000 boxes at $100. But people were like, who would pay $100 for a box? It's like, you see how long it takes?
Exactly.
It's it's only a $75 box because $25 getting donated.
Right.
I mean, it takes a lot of work.
Yeah. And I think that's kind of what people don't get. I've had a lot of clients say like, oh, that's a lot for this. Or even I was at a craft show for cutting board and some guy's like, oh, wow, the overhead on that must be insane. I'm like, dude, it's $65 cutting board.
That's cheap.
Like, it's cheap. It's an 1.5 inches thick, like a walnut. Like, how much do you want to pay for it? Like $65 is.
You can't even, you can't get like a boost block or something for that price.
Right. Yeah. And you got to find your people, I guess. I did it at the Monmouth racetrack.
Mm-hmm.
So, kind of people.
Seems like a good place. Yeah.
You would think, but, I had a good location too, right between the beer tent and where they place their bets.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I think people are just more into betting and getting a drink than buying. So,
yeah. Yeah. They're so out of touch. I don't think I talked about it on the podcast, but there's a guy on Instagram who makes these like plywood, like little router tables that fit like a trim router or something.
Okay.
Like Newman something. I think he's in upstate New York. And I stumbled across this post just like on the browse feature of Instagram. And he was saying that he came up with this idea and then he like did a pre-sale on Etsy. And the company that he was going to have CNC cut them shut down or something. So he found like a local place and got a quote. And he was talking about how he got this god-awful price. He said, this god-awful, ridiculous price. And it kind of piqued my interest. So I looked in the comments and he said something about it. They wanted $500 to cut up a sheet, one sheet's worth of these things. And I was like taken aback. I commented back. I'm like, I think it's pretty unfair that you're like saying that this is like a god awful price. I'm like, do you understand what it costs to run a business?
Yeah.
I'm like, and he kept saying like, it's only an hour and a half for them to cut this, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, yeah, but they have to pay for the rent,
right?
The machine,
the electric,
the insurance, just having learned the skill,
right. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's there's a lot more that goes into it than, it's not just, make money.
Yeah.
You got to actually do the work.
Yeah, an hour and a half, they had to program the CNC.
Right.
You have a file, but whatever file you made isn't going to run on an industrial CNC. You know what I mean? They have to run it through CAM and.
Right. They'll be on like version 14 or 15.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a lot of extra work.
I said $500 sounds like a deal.
It does, yeah.
Like around here, a CNC shop's not going to do anything for $500.
No. We need to open up a CNC shop.
Yeah. Have you seen Timber that's over here? They're in Keensburg now too. I don't know if you ever heard of them, but they were in Atlantic Highlands on Route 36. And they moved to Keensburg. If we've been here for a year, maybe it's been 2.5 or 3 years. So they went from like a 3,000 square foot shop to, I think the new shop is 15,000. It's big. They have maybe 3 or 4 flatbed CNCs. They have 2 robot arms. So there's like a rotating pedestal and a robot arm.
Like a 4-axis kind of thing.
Yeah, this is like 5, or I don't even know how. Yeah, it's insane. I think it's 5 with the pedestal.
Right.
They do all kinds of crazy stuff.
That's a lot. That's a lot of space.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like we talked about that when I got here. I was like, I don't know what to do with all that space.
Once you get it, it's all over.
Yeah. I just need to get it.
Yeah.
We have all good aspirations of eventually building a shop in the back of the property.
Mm-hmm.
But, it takes time, takes money.
Yeah.
And I'm doing all this work now on this one. I don't want to waste all that time and effort.
Yeah.
And so I'll probably work in it for a couple of years and figure out what we really want to do in the back.
You thinking like a pole barn maybe, or?
Yeah, pole barn, even a metal structure.
Yeah.
The
Amish like sheds they're like such a good value.
Yeah.
So, I mean, they'll drop, I don't know what the access is like, but they could drop a friggin' 20 by 40 building back there.
Yeah.
And they're like 12 grand.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Nuts. Yeah. It's good. I mean, that for me, I think right now we're just in a 1-car garage. So anything above that is, bonus. So.
Yeah. Yeah. Like I said, you could put a 50 by 100 or a 150 by 100 and you'd fill it up.
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, we're thinking like 30 by 40, maybe 24 by 40, somewhere around there.
Yeah, it's a good size.
Yeah.
The old shop was 24 by 36.
Right.
Which, I mean, we put a lot of work out of that shop. Oh, it's okay.
Yeah.
It's a lot of it's how you lay stuff out.
Yeah. Yeah. And I have to like really be mindful of what tools to buy. And at one point I was like, I want to get a drum sander. And then I look at the shop and I'm like, where?
Yeah. It's like, well, when I rip it, I'm going to run into that. And if I cross cut, I'm going to hit this.
Exactly. So, I mean, I do have some vertical storage, so I could probably, rig something up where I can, doesn't have to leave it out all the time or something like that. But still, it's a lot of stuff in a small space.
Yeah, and you get, analysis paralysis trying to figure these things out.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I've been working on the design of these cabinets. And they're just cabinets, just shop cabinets. But I think I've worked on them for God knows how long.
Well, because we've all done it. You come up with a design, build it, and you're like, well, I wish I had done it this way.
Exactly. Yeah. And then when, I'm like sheathing the walls and all this other stuff, because we moved in and it was just studs.
Mm-hmm.
So we had to redo everything we did in the old shop. And, we got a little bit better planning, because now we could figure out where all the electrical was going to go, and kind of do it that way. So it's helped definitely. But in all that time that I had, I'm like, I wonder if, I could do it like this. Or, you go from doing like normal metal drawer slides to like, maybe I'll do wood drawer slides. And you're like, no, that's going to take so much extra time. It's just easier to buy the drawer slides.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, we still, like the dust collection hose is coming off the Oneida. It's still running on the floor because we can't decide even over a year later. It's like, I can't commit to like a layout,
right?
So if I hard pipe that in, we're committed.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like I'm not ready to make that commitment.
No. Yeah, most everything in your shop's still kind of mobile.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, a lot of stuff is on mobile bases, the wide belt, even that boring machine that we just got. I should probably mention that we didn't have a podcast last week because I ran up to Boston and picked up Keith was supposed to be on. Right. And this was the only day that the guy who was loading the machine for me could go up there. A boring machine, construction boring machine. So it's a Ganymat Optima 25 spindle boring machine. So it's pretty sweet.
Heavy.
Yeah. 1,100 pounds.
That's heavy.
Yeah. So so basically this place was closing. Guy was retiring up in Charlestown, Boston. And so we bought the machine and you have to call the people to schedule getting it out. And we bought it on, I think it was like the 12th. Yeah, it was Monday the 12th. And the removal instructions said that the removal dates were the 13th to the 23rd. So basically the next day until the following Friday.
Okay.
So I call him on like Valentine's Day because I had to wire the money and everything. So it was all paid and we were eligible to pick it up. And I'm like, yeah. So like, I'm thinking maybe I'll come on Friday. He's like, wait, he's like, what are the dates? I'm like, it says the 13th to 23rd. He's like, oh man, they told me I had like 10 days to get all of this. I'm like, ooh. So he's like, I'll let you know. I'm like, okay. So then a couple days later, I get a call from a guy. He's like, oh yeah, I got your number from Greg. I'm going to pick up a bunch of machines that I bought. He bought like a 16-inch SCM joiner, a 36-inch SCM wide belt sander, a 25-inch SCM planer. He bought all this stuff. He's like, yeah, I'm going to pick it up on Thursday. I'll be there at 9:00. He's like, if you want me to help you load, I'm going to bring a forklift and an excavator and blah, blah, blah. Just throw me a couple bucks. I'm like, all right.
Done.
I'm like, that's good because, it's a loading dock. So how the hell am I going to get in the van?
Right.
So I show up there 9:00, like you said. This guy's like an hour late, of course. And so they show up. He didn't bring a forklift. So all he had was the excavator. So it was like a ramp up to the loading dock from the shop floor. So they pulled it up the ramp, which was cool. And then I'm like, how are we going to get it into my van? He's like, I don't know. We'll figure something out. So like standing there, I'm like, oh shit.
Here we go.
So they pull out his planer and they're putting it in the back of this dump truck. And they had it on like a sheet of steel that they had some, what do you call it? Like shackles on so they could pull it with a chain. And I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, how come he doesn't just like hook into those lifting points and pick it up and put it in the
right? But
I'm like, I'm staying out of this.
Yeah.
I'm just standing there watching. So they struggled for a while and they finally got because they had to get the steel plate back out from underneath of it.
Right.
So it's like this probably 4,000 pound planer sitting on top of this thing. Anyway, so then what they ended up doing was taking two solid oak, like mason's planks. And I backed up to the loading dock. So we had these planks going down into the van and they literally just slid it down the planks into the van.
That sounds safe.
Yeah.
That sounds.
And, he's not like a real rigger. So it's like if the machine fell off of the thing, what am I going to do? Sue the guy?
Yeah.
There's no picking it up off the, well, I mean, he had the excavator, but
still,
I mean, the thing would have been wrecked.
Yeah. The damage would have been done. Yeah. That's nerve-wracking.
Yeah. He's like an excavator. He's like, yeah, I just do this for fun. He's like, he buys the machines. It's a write-off,
Okay.
I'm like, all right, good for you.
Very expensive pieces of equipment to buy.
Yeah. Yeah. He bought like the whole table of hand power tools. And there was a Lamello biscuit joiner. And I had a buddy, Freddie Roman, he's up in Boston. He was bidding on it. And he's like, if there's anything you see in there that you want, let me know. You can buy it. I'm like, I want to buy that Lamello biscuit joiner. So Freddie didn't end up winning the thing. The guy won it for like $850. This whole miter saws, drills, sawzalls, sanders, nailers, like a screaming deal, $850. And so I asked him, I'm like, I wanted to ask you, like, could I buy that biscuit joiner? He's like, well, I'd want to get like whatever they cost new. I'm like, it's from like the 90s or 80s. And so we walk over. He didn't even know what he bought. We walk over and he's like, I don't have one. He's like, I really want to keep it. I'm like, all right, fine.
So you didn't get it. That sucks. Probably doesn't know what to do with it.
I know. It's probably going to sit in like a box.
Yeah.
Probably going to get wet, get destroyed.
It's a shame.
Yeah. But I threw him $250 cash. It was worth, because I'm like, how much you want? He's like, whatever. I'm like,
here's $5 in lunch.
Yeah. Yeah. I felt like giving him like $100 after he said he was going to bring a forklift.
Yeah,
bring a forklift.
The slide.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it was a good thing I brought like a 4x4 and I put it against the wheel wells and then they brace the planks up against that.
Oh, yeah.
Because what's keeping those things from just
sliding out?
And they were they were pretty bellied. He's like, those are not going to break. He's like, those are solid oak. I'm like, I hope they're not going to break.
God. And what kind of auction was that? Just like a...
it's called IRS auctions.
Okay.
It's not like it's not the Internal Revenue Service.
Yeah,
it's
right.
Industrial Recovery Service.
Yeah, I've been on some of those before.
Yeah.
I never win.
Yeah, it was, we got a pretty good deal. We paid $32.50. We paid $32.50 or $32.50 plus. Then you got to pay the 15% buyer's fee. It worked out to like $3,700.
Then you have to pay loading fees or anything, or fees or something.
Some auctions you have to look at the specific auction terms or whatever. Like when we bought the sliding table saw and the edge bander off of there, it was $100 flat loading fee. So they had someone on site with a forklift. You pull up and it says it's like flatbed. Must be side loaded onto a flatbed trailer.
Yeah.
So they just pick it up, put it on the trailer. That's it, $100.
So you got to tie it down and everything. They don't do any of that.
So this was like so it was either hire riggers or do it yourself. And to pay riggers to do that probably would have cost me like $2,500.
Yeah.
And then it's a $7,000 machine.
Right.
So
you could have bought new.
Yeah.
Right.
Not worth it.
No.
But it worked out. I got it back, picked it up with the forklift. Driving is the worst part.
You drove it in the van?
Mm-hmm.
The bottom out?
No. The payload on that van, excuse me, is actually pretty crazy.
Really?
Yeah. I want to say it's 5,000 pounds.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's good. It's better than my truck, I think.
Yeah, there's something about vans for some reason. I don't know what it is. But like vans have pretty high payload.
Could be the stronger chassis.
Yeah, it is a 2,500.
Okay.
Yeah.
How do you like it?
Oh, it's great.
Love it.
Yeah.
Get to see it up at Makers Camp every year.
Yeah. Park it there like a big billboard.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yeah, why not?
Yeah, I mean, that's why we got it wrapped.
Yeah. Yeah, it looks good.
We've had people like we went to, have you heard about New Doors?
Mm-mm.
It's a shop down in South Jersey and they make solid HDF doors. So they're CNC cut. They're nice. We've been using them for anything that's painted because they don't crack or anything.
Okay.
But they have a finish store there too, United Finishes, and that's where we buy our finish. But they did an event back in November, and it was called Spray Day with Nate. So it was like basically like a class, teaching you how to spray, prep doors and spray and stuff like that. So we did that, and we were driving down, and we get there, and this lady's like, I saw you on the turnpike. She's like, I'm an interior designer, blah, blah, blah. You only have to get one job and it pays for the wrap.
Exactly.
People are like, I'm not spending, I think we paid like $3,500.
And it's your whole
one
truck,
job.
Too.
Yeah. That's all it takes is one job.
Not bad.
Yeah. It's that perceived, what do they call it? Perceived value.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. That's what we're talking about, all the machinery and everything too.
Mm-hmm.
It's expensive, but it saves time.
Yep.
So less man hours, more profit.
Yeah. And, if you're trying to grow, you need to try and innovate how you're doing things.
Right.
Because unless you have some magic bean, how are you supposed to make more money doing the same thing?
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
It's a constant evolution. We're always trying to stupid stuff like that little spray bottle I was talking about.
Right.
We have regular spray bottles, but if that could shave off 10 seconds a cabinet is a win.
Right.
For $20.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Because if you build, 200 cabinets a year or 500, whatever.
Yeah.
10 seconds adds up.
It does. Yeah, it does. Yeah.
And even if it's not like the ultimate way to do it, it might lead you to the next.
Right. The next iteration or whatever. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I know I've built a couple things that I probably could have bought. I built a small router table and just because I didn't have room for a big one. I still don't, but so I used a little one here and there. It's good. Sell the plans for it. And, obviously it's paid for itself. So.
That was like the first batch of boxes that we did. Now I do the rabbet on the lid on the table saw. But it's all about what you can do at the time. Then we didn't have enough power in the shop to run the laser and the dust collector and the table saw at the same time. Like it would literally shut the laser off. Yeah. We didn't have enough amperage. So I couldn't do that. So that's what I did. I made a little router table out of a piece of acrylic. I just like screwed the acrylic down to the router. And that's how I did the rabbits.
Yeah. And sometimes you just got to make do with what you got.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It works.
Yeah. What, you got any plans to build anything? You got anything that you want to build?
So we haven't done much since we've been in the house. Like we've been in the house almost 2 years in July, but we had a lot of stuff going on during the move and we haven't really gotten to do a lot.
Mm-hmm.
So we've got like our list of things. Our kitchen's super small now compared to like our old kitchen. I think our old kitchen, we showed pictures. It was like 56 doors and drawers.
Yeah, because you were going to refinish them.
Yeah, it's huge. And I was like, should I remake them? Should I refinish them? Luckily, we moved and we don't have to deal with that now. So,
new doors would have been a good option.
Yeah. So now we have, I think it's maybe a dozen. It's very, very small.
That was like my house when I moved in.
Yeah.
I'm still working on the kitchen.
Oh, yeah. I mean, we definitely like downgraded moving into this house as far as size and everything, but it's perfect for us.
Yeah.
It's out in the country.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's one thing that you can't replace is having a little bit of space to yourself.
Yep. So we've got plans. We want to do the kitchen. We want to add some cabinets down in the basement. The basement's fully refinished.
Oh, nice.
So we want to set that up as more like entertainment area, like movie theater kind of type deal. So do some cabinets down there. Then a lot of shop stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like building shop furniture.
It's nice. I don't, I'm not going to go out and spend a ton of money on plywood and all. Like I'll use the cheaper plywood because I'm not, it's shop furniture. For me, I don't need it to be show quality.
Yeah, it's about functionality.
Right. So build it with what I can and affordably, do it. Sheet goods are pricey now.
Yeah. Well, if you ever have to buy any, let us know because we get a pretty good,
get a
pretty good prices.
yeah, you're better than like the big box stores.
I'm sure. Yeah. I'm trying to think like a sheet of 3/4 import birch is probably like, I don't even know. Let me see. Probably like $1.38 a square foot.
Yeah. So I think I bought
$44.
Like half what I paid for the big box store. Yeah. And then I went to the big box store and I'm like, I'll use my veteran discount and it'll be good to go. Give me like 10% off. And then one of the two big box stores will not let you use it on building materials.
What?
I'm like, well, how is that possible? Like a discount to discount.
They're like, oh, we're not ripping everybody off on these prices. We don't have a high enough margin.
Yeah. I'm like, what is the discount on? Like, no building materials. I'm like, that is what you guys sell.
Yeah.
Everything is building materials here, except for tools.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I wonder if it's like, what if you were buying like PVC pipes or something? Is that you're not allowed to get a discount on that either?
I don't know. I had like a cart full of, I had about 4 sheets of quarter, 4 sheets of half, 3/4, 2 things of MDF, 2 metal pieces that I'm using. And they were like, yeah, you can't use it. I'm like, that's like $200 off. And they're like, yeah, sorry. I'm like, okay. And I walked out, I left the cart right there and I went to the other one where I got my 10% off. It was still like $700.
Say who it was?
What?
Who didn't give you the discount?
Oh, Home Depot.
But Lowe's did.
Lowe's did.
Well,
yep.
I'm a Lowe's guy anyway.
Lowe's is close to us.
That's my thing.
When I say close, like in the old house when we were in Howell, it was 5 minutes.
Where do you have to go? Neptune?
Me now? No, I still go to Howell. Oh, no, okay. Manchester.
Oh, yeah.
There's one in Manchester, which is close.
Jackson's so big. It's like
Jackson's
it touches
massive.
like
it's huge. And I tell you, like every once in a while, we sit there and we're like, 40 minutes to soccer, 15 minutes to the grocery store. But then you think about it and you're like, yeah, it's 15 minutes from the grocery store. Like that's not a bad thing.
Yeah.
And so when we do have to go into our old town or when I come into Red Bank, when on the way home, you slowly like de-urbanize.
Yeah.
And then, you go to the town and you're on the turnpike or the 195. And then you just kind of slowly, by the time we get down to our road, it's quiet.
Yep.
There's no one around. You don't hear anything. It's really nice.
That's like going to Keith Blackthorne's. I know that
he's right around the corner.
You've been there. Yeah. It's like, you're on 195 and then you get off and then, or sometimes we take like Parkway to 34 maybe. I forget, but you take a couple different ways. And like you said, it just gets less and less densely populated until
Yeah.
And it's not like the sticks, but it's nice and quiet.
It's right around
the houses are,
It's close to the sticks. It's next to the sticks.
The houses are spread out a little bit. It's nice. I mean, my neighbors are freaking right on top of me.
Yeah. That's how it was in Howell. We were in a very small, like cul-de-sac kind of area, and the neighborhood was turning over from other towns leaking into our town. And we saw a couple houses go up quick, and we were like, we had a 2 to 3 year plan. We're like, you know what? Let's do it now.
Yeah.
And we did. And we were like the third house, like they bought like the first 2 houses went up as soon as you came in our loop. And we were like, they're just going to keep buying up.
Oh yeah.
So we put it up right away. We got well over what we paid for it. So we did really well with that. And we got out of that area before everybody else started selling.
Yeah.
So it was nice. By the time we were done, it was kind of running its, it ran its course and everything. The mortgage rates were going up. And
I was going to say, you probably got a good mortgage rate.
No.
No.
We were at like, I hate to say it, like in Howell, we were at 3.25. Now we're at like 5.25. And we're looking at doing
not terrible, but
yeah. We were looking at doing home equity. Just, now we're kind of going through that process of we had to get new roof and windows and doors and all that stuff. And now we're paying for it. And it's like, this sucks. Let's hit the home equity. We know we have it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we're thinking about doing that. Yeah.
I want to, like my house, when you drive by, like it is god awful ugly. Yeah. It's all this aluminum siding. It looks like split cedar shake, but it's aluminum. It has like these awnings and I don't mind admitting it's freaking ugly.
Yeah.
I would love to strip the outside and do new siding. And I have a garage in the back that I got to take down and replace. So that's like on my next couple years list is like a exterior
upgrade.
Yeah.
Yeah. We did. We knew moving into that house that we were going to need doors, windows, roof, gutters, all that stuff. We knew moving in there, that is what we needed. And we were fine with it. We didn't ask for anything off. We didn't, we got a fair price. And now we're kind of like, man, we should have.
Like, oh, now we have to actually do these things.
Yeah. And we did. We did it all with one company, and, they were great. The house looks fantastic. Windows are awesome. But, now you get the project's finished. So now they're like, okay, here's your payment list. It's like, no.
Like, oh man, we're going to be paying this for the next 7 years.
Yeah. It's like, how long are we going to have this house? We got to, yeah. And it's funny because every house we've done big projects. So like in our first house, we had the attic, all the energy saver people come out and do all the
spray foam
and the crawl space in the attic and all that. And then new AC. We did all that, everything new, furnace, all that. And then we moved. And then we got a new house. And we had to get through the winter. And then we did the roof. And then we did the AC. And it was like, oh, the other thing is like, yeah, and we keep downsizing, which is nice. Now, it's cozy, it's manageable size. But we had 3 bathrooms in the first house. And then in Howell, we had 2. Now we have 1. I told
I'm living that nightmare
too. We can't move anymore, because if we move anymore, we're going to have an outhouse.
Just a hole in the ground.
Yeah, and we want to add a half bath, but it's septic, so it's a little. It's hard to do, especially because we're going to have to put it in the basement. You got to get the pump and all that stuff.
Yeah, my parents just had an issue with their pump. They needed a ejector pump for a first floor bathroom for some reason. I don't know why, but something happened. The pump went bad, and they had to have somebody get into the crawl space and replace it.
That's not good.
Yeah,
it's a crappy situation.
Yeah, yeah. I have one bathroom. We went from 1 to 1. It's really only ever been 1, so it's not. Luckily, we don't have anything to compare against. But I'm not even sure where we would have to like do an addition to put in a bathroom.
Yeah. That's, we're thinking either the basement or eventually go blow out the back of the house a little bit and put it, because we don't have like a master suite or anything. So we could, maybe build something off the back and do a master suite back there with a bathroom and big closets and bedroom and stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. So when we bought our house, we bought in like around this time, 2020, I think. Has it been 4 years? 2021? Must have been 2021. We're going on 3 years in the next month or so. We immediately had to do the furnace and the air conditioning. Yep. Thank God I had central air ducting and forced air ducting. But so we did that, and then I completely redid my son's room, and then all we did was like rip up the old carpet and stuff like that. We didn't even like paint aside from my son's room.
Right.
That was it.
Yeah.
But then I gutted the kitchen. I took down a wall, and that's still in progress.
In progress. Yeah. Yeah.
I have some cabinets built. Yeah.
2 more weeks.
One guy, 10 minutes. I have like, I don't know, maybe 4 or 5 cabinets built in there. It's not the cabinets. I could build the cabinets. Yeah. That's not a problem. It's all the other stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, it's sheetrocked right now. I have 1 coat of primer, but it's been sheetrocked for a while. It hasn't moved much further past that.
Yeah. I mean, there was a lot of projects in our last house that we were like, all right, yeah, we're going to do this, and we move in, and then we moved out and it's still there. And,
yeah.
And I've been noticing that. I'm like, why did I buy this? I was like, oh, it was for that project we were going to do in the old house that we never did.
Oh yeah. I bought stuff. I'm like, oh yeah, I'm going to need these flooring tools.
Yeah. Oh, I hate that. Yeah. I find that all the time. I'm like, now, like when we moved into this house, I bought like, those little kits to hang your TV on the wall. Like you can run the wire up, whatever.
Oh yeah.
And I'm like, all right, got one because I needed to do it. And then he didn't do it.
You're like, gotta get the TV up.
We got the TV up.
So but then it's just cords.
It's just cords, yeah. And it's just sitting there like,
yep.
Why'd you spend this money?
Life gets in the way.
It does. Yeah, it does. That's for sure. Yep.
The best was a maker camp. Must have been the first year that we went. I came home. My wife had painted the living room, but like she doesn't know how to paint and like didn't do. I'm like, you totally skipped like steps 1 and 2, right, which are like protect everything and then like take off like, take off like the light switch covers and like she painted like up to the TV, on the wall.
Oh yeah.
And it's still 2 years later.
Yeah. That's
actually I did paint behind the TV, but
did you?
She never painted the trim.
Yeah, it happens. We did a lot of stuff on our last house when we moved. We like finished up a couple of things, It was like, oh, we got to take pictures of the house. We got to like redo this or finish this or whatever. And we did the floors out in the bottom all by ourselves.
That's on my list too. When I finish the kitchen. Well, it's part of the kitchen.
Yeah. Everything's part of the kitchen. Yeah.
Because my house is just like a little, I don't even know. It must only be like 1,200 square feet. It's just 2-bedroom, 1920s, little, I don't know what style you would call, like a salt box, I guess. So downstairs is just kitchen, living room. And then upstairs is just like bathroom, 2 bedrooms. That's it.
Yeah. Which is nice though.
You can
redo the whole house.
Nothing. Yeah. So when I do the floor in the kitchen, I'm just going to do the whole first floor because it's only 2 rooms.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah, and we're in a ranch now, which is kind of nice. I mean, we have the full finished basement, but we could, if we wanted to, do hardwood everywhere and upstairs, and it'd be manageable and financially okay.
Mm-hmm.
But we're projects.
Yeah,
a lot of projects.
Hardwood's nice. I'm doing just LVP because I have a 5-year-old.
Yep.
You know what it's like.
Yep.
Like constant, just like spills.
Yeah.
I'm like, man, and then I'm like, I don't want to put this new floor down. I'm like, it's gonna get ruined. Like,
yeah. We did that in the last set. We did laminate throughout, and that was like our COVID project. We did that. We did the faux shiplap on the walls and all the crown, everything. We did it all, and it was so much.
Mm-hmm.
It was so much, but it paid off in the end. It looked great.
Oh yeah.
As soon as you put it down, you get water spilled on it like immediately. It's like, no, you got to get it up.
Yeah, now I have like this old, it's either like longleaf pine or Doug fir or something flooring, and it's so old and it's been sanded so many times that there's all these gaps, and so now like if my son spills something in the living room, like it will literally like drip into the basement, like just through the floor and the subfloor.
Yeah, there's like no wood left on it. It's been sanded so many times.
Yeah, like it has the diagonal subfloor, just like those wide tongue and groove planks.
Yep.
If you go in the basement, look up. There's a gap between every single board because they just shrunk so much over time.
Oh yeah, yeah. Ours makes a lot of noise. Like if you're in the basement, forget it. You're not watching anything. Like if someone's walking around upstairs, it's just loud and creaky and everything. And they have like the weird cross bracing downstairs.
Yeah, we have that.
And those just pop out.
Yeah,
So
because and they're like rough sawn. Like
they're all like half of them are broken. And the screws are like out. Like an inch from the thing. So, we're going to like do like normal blocking in there and everything. I think that would be sufficient.
Yeah. Bridging, they call it.
Yeah.
My house, the creaks are insane. So I grew up in a house from like the 1860s. So I'm like used to walking around like a creaky house. You find where the creaks are and where you can walk.
Yep.
So it's like when I walk up the steps, like I know how to walk on them so that it doesn't.
Yeah. Yeah. I do that in our office. Like I know where to walk. Like if I got to go charge my laptop so I don't wake anybody up.
Like right in front of my side of the dresser is like the squeakiest area in the whole house. So like in the morning when I'm getting dressed, I come to the shop like whatever, 6:00. My wife's still sleeping. I'm making like a total racket.
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, old houses are good for that.
Yeah. I like old houses. They're a lot of work, but there's just something about it, Yeah,
it's got some character.
Yeah.
Like the new houses are nice, they're pretty, but
usually the workmanship is pretty bad. That's the thing with like a new house.
Turning it over and stuff's popping up all over the place around here now too.
Oh yeah.
Especially in Jackson. Certain areas in Jackson are, have certain communities living in them and they're just
building like crazy.
It's ridiculous. Like one day you go by and there's nothing there. And the next day you go by and there's like 6 big buildings. I'm like, where do these things come from?
Yeah. You drive all over and you see the sites like where maybe they haven't been approved yet to build something, but they're prepping the site.
Yep.
And
like they've cleared the land.
Yeah. Big piles of dirt. All over Jackson. By Keith, there's a big, there was something, I don't know if it was like a chicken farm or like some kind of like landscaping place where it looks like they're going to build a.
Yeah. That's worrying because he's only like 2 turns.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I pull out of my driveway and make a right. I make another right and then another right. So 3 rights and then a left into his driveway. So if you know where I live, you can get there in 3 turns.
Yeah. Oh, so you're that way by that chicken farm or whatever it is. Or the other way?
The other way.
Okay. Where the cow gets out.
Probably.
Yeah. We were going over there one time to whatever, drop something off or pick something up. And we're coming down. We passed like that Brooklyn Square pizza place or whatever. And then, so we came in from that way. There's like a little bridge or something.
Yeah.
And I text Heath, I'm like, there's like a cow in the road. It's just like huge cow with like a cop, like trying to like whatever, coax it back to where it came from.
Yeah.
He's like, oh yeah, it gets out all the time.
It's rural for sure. Yeah. We've had fox and deer and all sorts of stuff. We actually had more deer and owl than we do in Jackson. Yeah. But we get like the other animals. We had a chicken just roaming around our front lawn for about a month. Just random chicken.
Get to hear a lot of the planes from.
Oh yeah,
was it Lakehurst?
Yeah, Lakehurst. Yeah. I mean, it's some of them are low. You can like wave at the pilot, see the tail numbers,
and they have the big like the whatever Glow Masters and those big
AC-130s, the 747s. Yeah, it's loud. And then they have the helicopters go over them once in a while,
but no like fighter jets or anything.
No. Just some helicopters, the big planes, definitely. They do their flying all over the place, and they're so low.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So
and
low.
Huge.
Yeah.
I was outside a couple summers ago, and you hear it, and then you just see. I'm like, holy shit! I'm like, this thing's huge.
Yeah, they're pretty massive. We had friends come over, and they're like, "What's that noise?" I'm like, "Oh, it's a plane." He's like, "Are you kidding me?" So we went outside and waited for it to come back around because they just like do loops.
Yeah.
Because I mean, we're maybe 5-10 minutes from Lakehurst. So we see it all the time, like the airship and all that stuff. So, you know, they do big, like events.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, from the Hindenburg,
Yep.
went down there. So they do a lot of stuff like that. But yeah, they fly constantly.
They're what? Just training, I guess.
Yeah. Just training. Yeah. The pilots got to keep up on their hours.
Yeah. Gotta make, you don't want to like leave a plane sitting and then you're like, all right, now we got to really fly.
Yeah.
It's like, hope this thing works.
Yeah, exactly. Or have a pilot who doesn't have all their hours.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
So,
Yeah, my grandparents lived in Rehoboth Beach, Delaware, which is like south of Dover. So they used to have the fighter jets. You know, you'd hear them like whatever, 30 seconds before you see them. And then they're just like,
yeah, come on.
So loud.
Yep.
So loud.
We were up in one summer up in New Hampshire. And I don't know what base is up there. It's got to be some Air Force base, but they had these A-10 jets.
Oh, those things have a crazy sound.
Oh my gosh. And they just kept flying over. I was like, something's going on. But yeah, those are fun.
I saw something about a passenger plane that, you know, they're saying like the jet stream is changing and it like broke the speed of sound. Like it was like doing 800 miles an hour or something, just like a passenger plane because it got into like this good jet stream.
It's like a Concorde or something.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Oh, you know what?
You want to
better do our advertisement here
right.
before I forget.
Do it.
When you need the right saw blade for the job, put your trust in Ridge Carbide Tools.
For over 50 years, Ridge Carbide has been producing industrial saw blades designed with exact specifications for the cutting results you expect.
Before you buy, call Ridge Carbide and they'll help you determine the right tool that meets your needs and budget.
After the sale, Ridge Carbide provides sharpening services for all your saw blades, dado sets, router bits, and joiner planer knives.
Located in Kansas, Ridge Carbide Tools provides high-quality products with outstanding customer service at a fair price. What are you cutting? I just got a bunch of blades back from.
Did you?
Ridge Carbide today. Yeah, I sent out 9 blades.
For sharpening?
Yeah.
There's a place in Jackson across from the Speedway in New Egypt.
Oh, really?
Like literally right across from the Speedway. He cuts them. He does saw blade sharpening.
I wonder if it's the same guy that the shop where we used to work uses.
I don't know. It's just some dude's house. I'm going to try it out.
I guess if you got the right machine.
Yeah. I mean, you just try it out, and if it's good, it's good. If it's not, it's not.
Yeah.
Then
you can send it to Ridge Carbide.
Yeah, exactly. If it doesn't work, yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, I don't think I've ever sent a blade out for sharpening.
No?
To be honest with you.
You have any like, I don't want to say good blades, but do you have any like blades that would be...
I do now.
Yeah.
Because I was having a lot of problems with, you get the blades that come with the table saw.
Yeah.
Or you get the Diablo blades.
Yeah.
And it's good for...
They get hot one time and they got to wobble
they
to them.
wobble. So I just think I just bought the Woodworker 2.
Yeah.
And it's fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
I get a little bit of tear out on the cheap plywood, but...
Yeah, with a 40-tooth blade, there's not much you can do about that.
Yeah.
So we sent out 9 blades to be sharpened, and then 2 of them I had rebored, so they actually changed the size of the hole.
Really?
Yeah, so they could do that kind of stuff too. So the Stree-Big, like a table saw uses a 5/8 inch hole, a miter saw uses a 1-inch hole. The Stree-Big uses a 30 millimeter hole, which is like an inch and whatever. Inch and 1/8 or inch and 3/16, something like that. And then 2 pinholes because it's got a break.
Oh, okay.
So if it didn't have the pins, the inertia of the blade would actually like loosen the nut and back it off.
That sounds fun.
Yeah. So since we're not really cutting, we had a 10-inch sliding table saw, so we had a bunch of blades for plywood and stuff for that. The Stree-Big is it's technically 250 millimeter, which is just slightly under 10 inch, but you can run 10-inch blades on it.
Yeah.
So I had them rebore a couple 10-inch table saw blades so that we could use them on there.
So they could fit a little bit better.
Yeah, just because the holes and everything.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. So you still have the old miter saw?
Yeah. Oh,
My
yeah.
old one.
Yeah.
Nice.
I sharpened the blade up for that too.
Yeah.
Yeah. We actually just changed the blade on that. We bought this blade, and I accidentally, it's funny, we're talking about boring. I accidentally ordered it with a 5/8 inch bore, not thinking that, miter saw needs a 1 inch. So it came, and we were using dynamic saw in Buffalo for our sharpening at the time, before we started using Ridge. So I called him up. I'm like, yeah, I got this blade. I'm like, I wanted to see if you could rebore it to 1 inch. He's like, oh, what is it? I'm like, oh, it's, Everlast, whatever, blah, 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 102. He's like, what are you using that for? I'm like, well, we break down rough lumber. He's like, that's not going to work for that. I'm like, okay, whatever. We used it for like 2 years.
Yeah.
It worked great.
Yeah.
And then, so finally I ended up buying another one of those matching blades that was the right bore, and then sending that one to Ridge to get rebored. But I finally just changed it to the second one.
Okay.
Like, this guy said it wasn't going to work. I used it for 2 years. It was still like,
yeah.
I mean, it was still cutting good. I didn't need to change it,
Right.
but it was like, well, I might as well send it out.
Yeah. Why not? Yeah. Yeah. I like the new, the Woodworker too.
Yeah.
It's pretty clean.
We used those for a long time. That's a nice blade.
Yeah.
We have a Forest on the Streebig right now, a Duraline HT or something like that, or AT, Duraline AT. It's just like got a super aggressive look to it.
Really?
It's got like really pointy teeth. They have that like alternate bevel.
Right.
These are like, the angle is really steep.
Really?
Yeah.
I always have a hard time finding quality blades for like the track saw.
Yeah. The Makita ones that we've used are pretty good. The Freud Industrial are pretty good.
Yeah.
I think so we use a lot of Everlast blades, and that's
Okay.
actually Ridge Carbide's like parent company. It's like their, more industrial kind of line. But the pricing is really good. And I'm pretty sure that they make track saw blades. I'd like to try those out.
Yeah, because I think I needed one because I was just getting some crazy tear out. And I think I just went on Amazon, grabbed something.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't much better than the Makita crap one that was on there. That was already like, not crap, but it was already
Dull.
It's dull.
Yeah. Yeah, I just sent out a Makita. The silver Makita ones that come with the saw seem to be pretty good quality.
Yeah.
I think they're made in China, but they're pretty good for, for like a $40 blade or whatever.
Right. Yeah.
I see a lot of people using those white track saw blades. I can't think of the name. I think it starts with an O.
Oh, like it.
Not Oshlin.
Yeah,
That might be
Ocean. Ocean.
Ocean.
OSHIN or something
Okay.
like that. Yeah. That's one of the ones I got.
Yeah.
It was but it was silver and it had like green on it. I think it's the one I got. And it wasn't too much better.
No.
So maybe it's just wrong teeth or.
Yeah. I don't like any blade that has like paint on, like the Diablo, like that red paint.
Yeah. It's on everything.
Yeah. And they're like, oh, it's like an anti-stick. It's like, well, that part of the saw really shouldn't ever be touching the wood.
Yeah. I'm not cooking an egg on,
Right.
on the blade,
Like the teeth are wider than the plate of the saw for a reason.
Yeah.
Like if that is touching the wood, it means that your blade is wobbly.
Right. Yeah. And pinching and.
Mm-hmm. Which certainly happens, but also want to thank our sponsor, Unita. You can go to sandpaper.com and use the coupon code Joinery15 and save 15%. If you do go buy something, make sure you use that so that they know that we sent you. And yeah, great stuff. We've been using the 3x4 sanders a ton, and looking at another sander. Not sure if we're going to go with Unita or somebody else, but we like to try a little bit of everybody.
Yeah. Yeah. I think did nice, just an all-purpose sander.
Mm-hmm.
Like I've got the big Rotex and
Yeah.
it's okay.
It's really like, it's got to be like a rough, like I used it on those doors that I'm restoring to like, with like 80 grit,
Right.
and it like really took it off fast, but like you can't finish sand with that.
No.
It's too big and doesn't have a fine enough orbit.
Yeah. So I think I need to get like a ETS or
Mhm.
some kind of orbitable.
That's a new one.
That's the high end one. Yeah.
I like that we got a couple air sanders. I mean, you need a massive compressor, but we got a couple air sanders. They're pretty good. They're good for that in between. Like they sell them with a finer orbit. We got with a 3/16 orbit, I think. So it's like somewhere between like the ETS and the Rotex.
Okay.
So it's good for like that, you know, up to like say 150, 180.
Yeah.
And then I would go to the even finish sanding. Like if I was going to finish sand at 180, I'd use the ETS because it's got smaller orbit, but
right.
It's got good ergonomics.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I think I got the Rotex because I was like, oh, this thing can just do everything. And it's like, ugh. It's, you know, you mess with the suction settings and all that. And it still gets swirls.
Yeah,
like, I did everything right.
The Rotex does it makes a lot of swirls.
It's very frustrating. You know, I was working on something and then you're like, oh, it looks so good. And then you put the finish on, you're like, where'd those come from?
Oh, these pigtails, yeah.
Yeah, the little squiggly lines.
And the thing with the Rotex, like, you know, with the ETS, if you put it down, for the most part, it'll just sit there. The Rotex, it goes like this and falls over.
Right.
Because it's so back heavy.
Yeah.
So you have to counteract that as you're sanding.
Yeah.
And it has so much power that it wants to just get away from you anyway.
Right.
So, yeah. That's the thing about the Dynabrade is you're on top of it and you have to push the paddle down. So it puts you in like and same thing with the Unita, it puts your hand in like a very controlled place.
Yeah.
You know?
I have to check something out. Let's check that out. Because I have the 90 too, which that's a complete waste of a tool. I mean, it's great. I use it, but not often enough to warranty the money spent.
Yeah, so 90 is what? It's like 3, a little bit bigger than 3.
Small one, yeah. 3 1/4, I think, somewhere around there.
Yeah, because 3 would be 76 millimeters. I was looking at that so the sander that I want to get is for like on-site stuff for scribing fillers and stuff.
Okay.
Use it with like whatever, like 60 grit.
Yeah.
Instead of like a belt sander, or I use a power planer. Just better dust collection, a little bit slower than a power planer, so you can like really like work up to the line. So like the Rotex 90 is on that list, but it just seems too big. Like to hold it upside down with one hand seems
it's still a little large.
Yeah.
And I even got it came with the little triangle pad on it too. So that's nice to get into the little corners.
Yeah, that's the best thing about that. It's not a triangle, but it's a square or rectangle, the 3x4 sander.
Yeah.
Like door panels and stuff, you can't get in there with an orbital.
No.
And good luck like hand sanding and then using the orbital. Like it never comes out right.
It doesn't. Yeah. It's always uneven.
And you run into the edge one time with the orbital.
Yeah.
And the whole thing is jacked up.
Exactly. Yeah. That's what we were just talking about, all the little lines on that. It just show up randomly. Yeah.
Yeah. And, you know, God forbid you get like a little something on the sandpaper and it's making all these crazy swirls.
Yeah.
Nothing worse than sanding.
Yeah. I've been like going through different kind of sandpapers and stuff. I mean, obviously you get the Rotex, you want to use their paper, but I used like the thin stuff. It's almost like see-through. It's like almost like a mesh.
Oh, okay.
I got some of those and that seemed to work pretty well. I used it on they don't get caked up.
Yeah. The mesh is good for dust collection for sure, but I found that the problem with the mesh is the Velcro actually goes through it a little bit, and then it cuts it off basically, and then like it ruins the pad. Yeah. So you have to use that in between pad.
Correct.
And then you got this like spongy.
Yep.
So it's like you can't win.
Yeah, and there's just so many attachments. It's like, oh, do I use the blue head or the blue pad or the black pad or the green pad? But like, I just want to pick it up, have sandpaper on it, and sand.
Yeah.
I guess it's too much to ask nowadays, you know?
Well, yeah, especially with festivals, all about the accessories.
Yeah, it's a lot. I did get I do have one tool I got that I really enjoy is the router. They're 1400.
Oh, the 1400 is nice. We have the 1010, which is a little 1/4 inch.
Okay. Yeah, I like it so far. It's better than like the big DeWalt one I had.
Yeah,
It's nice and it works. Like it's just made to work. I like it.
Yeah, the festival routers are sweet. They have that little like kickstand, so if you're like routing on top of something, you can bring it down so it rests on whatever, you know, the table or whatever, so that it stays flat. And the dust collection's so good. You know, people I mean, I'm not like a Festool fanboy, and I'm willing to point out where I see fault. But some people like hate on Festool so bad. It's like you've clearly never used some of these tools because they're so well designed.
They really are. Yeah.
That OF 1010 for a 1/4-inch router. I doubt that there's a better 1/4-inch router.
Yeah, probably not.
It's so good.
Yeah.
The plunge, everything. I mean, it's set up so nice. All the little, features that they don't have.
Yeah.
The way they have the insert in the middle for the dust collection. It's so good.
Yeah. Yeah. I like, I've slowly been picking a tool here and there from them. Now I got a nice big stack.
Mm-hmm.
I've just been wheeling that around the shop. I think it's the hardest part about having a shop is you get all these tools and now you got to, especially a small shop, I got to move this to get to that.
Yep.
Oh, I want to do this. Great. Okay. I got to do it all now because then I have to move everything so I could do the next step. That
was like in the old shop. If I wanted to cross cut an 8-foot piece, or not even 8 foot, it could be like probably 7-foot piece of plywood, I had to move the shaper.
Yeah.
Well, moving a shaper is not that easy. It's heavy.
Yeah.
And there's not really anywhere to move it to.
Right.
So it's like you could get like 24 inches maybe.
Yeah.
But if you had to do bigger than that, you're out of luck.
Yeah. Well, in the old shop we had, so when you would walk in from outside the shop through the garage door, the table saw was running that way.
Mm-hmm.
So I could run it, outside the garage all the way through. And now it's on the other side. So it backs up to the wall.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like I have it 9 feet. The blade is like 9 feet from the wall. So I can at least get one sheet. But if I ever have to cut anything longer than that, I'm screwed. Turn it around.
Mm-hmm. Put it at a little bit of an angle.
Cut a hole in the back of the wall or something.
We had that at the old shop on the miter saw because we moved it. So the wall, it was like in a corner almost like this. And we had like 4 feet or something. And then on the other side, it would hit this thing. So we cut a hole in the wall. And I had like a little trap door that would flip up and it could go inside the wall.
Yep. Yeah. That's what we're doing. We had to cut a hole in the wall for the air conditioning.
Mm-hmm.
You have one of those little portable ones.
You
have to vent it somehow.
Yep.
So that was like, you hook up a dryer vent and you hook up the magnetic thing and put it's a lot of extra work
that was like we had the laser like that. It went out the wall at the old shop and vented the smoke.
Yeah.
Here I have, there's a window upstairs. So there's like all this ductwork that goes up the stairs and out the window. So I don't know if you could smell it when you got here, but I had the laser off for, I don't know, maybe a half hour or so. But when that thing's running, you go outside, you could smell. It smells like a campfire.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
That's nice. I'm sure everybody likes it.
Yeah. I'm not worried about them.
How do you like now, though? Into the shop, the area?
It's pretty good.
Yeah.
I mean, Keensburg has a reputation of being rough around the edges. It's not so bad. This section, this is Main Street, so it's pretty civil here.
Right.
But, you get a little further in some of the spots, it can get pretty rough. But we haven't had any issues. We had some kids like graffiti the wall and stuff like that, but nothing crazy.
Yeah. I actually not grew up, but I was born in East Keensburg.
Really?
Yeah. So right down the road on Ocean Ave.
That's that's like where that school is, right? Yeah. At Ocean Ave School.
Right.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I don't remember it because I was 2 when we moved.
Mm-hmm.
But grew up around here.
Yeah. My mother-in-law actually lived like across the street from the shop over there at one point.
Really?
Yeah. Like back in like the 80s or something. Yeah. Yeah. Keensburg's always had like this was like a hot spot in the like early 1900s to the 50s.
Yep.
People would take the ferry from New York and they'd have houses here for the summer and, like anything, neighborhoods change and not always for the better.
That's true. Yeah. Yep. We used to go to Keensburg Amusement Park every once in a while.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I've never been. My mother-in-law took my son once. He had a good time. They have some roller coaster there that was on like the History Channel or something.
Really?
Yeah, like one of those
old school
antique kind of like not American Pickers, but one of those spin-off shows.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's a nice place when you're got little ones.
Yeah.
But you can outgrow it pretty quick.
Mm-hmm.
I think. I haven't been back in a long time though.
Have you been to what's the new place in Jackson? Adventure America or something? Is that what it's called?
Oh, down by
By Six Flags.
We haven't. We've been there because that's where all the good restaurants are
Mm-hmm.
And the outlets. But yeah, I haven't been to that in that bubble yet.
I'm not even really sure what it's like golf or something.
Well, they have golf. They're doing a Top Golf, but that's in like the back. So the big dome, it's kind of like one that they have at Capelli. They do like sporting events and stuff.
Oh, okay.
But they haven't really gotten around to it yet. We're hoping they open like a really nice academy there.
Yeah.
So we don't have to drive 40 minutes. We can drive like 10.
Yeah.
But
I mean,
we'll
it would
see.
make sense.
Yeah. Every good team is kind of far from us.
They've been teasing that place for years.
Yeah.
They had a, I don't know if you ever drive on 33, but on 33, there's like this Airstream dealer. And across the street from it, they had a, like a shipping container, but like on the body of, not the body, but the back part of a tractor trailer. And just sitting there, and it said, whatever it's called, Adventure USA or something like that. I'm like, what the hell is this place? You know, it's like coming soon.
Yeah.
And that's not even like really close to Jackson.
No, not at all. I know you're talking about
Like
this.
Manalapan or something.
Yeah. Well, is it Manalapan? Millstone.
Yeah, like
Because
past Manalapan.
Colonial Airstream.
I guess so. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's like a Kawasaki dealer or something on the other side.
Yeah, I have a friend that works there. He's
Yeah.
does a big YouTube guy too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I think you told me about that guy. Yeah.
Patrick, yeah. I went to high school with him, and then I helped him do the his cabinets in his van.
Airstreams are pretty cool.
Yeah.
I wouldn't spend the money on one.
They're so expensive.
We did a table in one for a client
It's a lot.
that it like folds down or
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah, he bought like an old one. I mean, because he gets some that people bring him in all the time to just sell them like old ones. And then he got one, a smaller one, and he actually redid it all inside. It's amazing. It's great.
Yeah, that'd be cool. My wife wants a camper so bad. I'm like,
Mine too.
you
She
don't
doesn't
even
wanna
like to camp.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, we passed one the other day, and she's like, "Oh, look, that camper's for sale." I'm like, "That thing's bigger than our house." I'm like, "It costs more than our house."
Yeah.
Too. Like, come on.
And then they're like, like a tin can.
Yeah.
Like they're not made very well.
No.
Like if you buy like a Coleman or I don't know what the other brands are, but
Yeah, there's
like
a lot.
Bliss was saying he rented one for Maker Camp one
Yeah.
year. He's like, this thing's like made of aluminum foil.
Yeah, yeah. I was thinking about doing that because every year I always miss. Like the first year, it was so quiet. There was like maybe 100 people there, I think. So rooms weren't.
Now
an
it's
issue.
sold out day after it ends.
Yeah, I called it like 9:05, and they're like, "Oh, sold out." I'm like, "All right," because I did not stay in the greatest of.
Oh, were you at the Wesley House or whatever?
Yeah, I was. Yeah, it was like
The
Schitt's
Bates
Creek.
Motel.
It was like Schitt's Creek. You know,
I haven't
you-
seen it, but I
You
get,
have
I get the
oh my
reference.
God. If you've watched it, you know exactly what I stayed in.
Well, yeah, Corey from CT Woodwork, he saw like a spider so big in his room that he went and slept in his truck.
Yeah. It was and the smell, like nose just burning because there's mold in the bathroom.
Oh,
and
yeah.
stuff. So
Who stays in those places? Like
I
in
did.
but aside from like Maker Camp
Yeah.
time, that's like their overflow.
Yeah.
Yeah, like in the summertime to like, yeah, we're going to the Catskills and that's where you're staying.
Yeah. I think that's more like winter, like when they have all the skiing going on. I think maybe it's more used, but I don't know. There's some upkeep needs to be made.
I guess, yeah, maybe the smell isn't as bad in the winter when it's cold.
I doubt it. I doubt it. Yeah, some of those rooms need some upgrades,
Yeah.
but it's a fun trip. I'm glad I got to go again this year. Last year we had to bail.
Mm-hmm. Maker Camps, yeah, it's an experience. I think if you haven't gone, it's worth going at least one time.
Yeah. I've been all years except for last year. I didn't make it.
Yeah, I think 3 years now we went.
Yeah, because my second year was your guys' first year.
Yep, and that was technically the third year, right? But the second year was online or something.
Yeah, the second year they canceled it because of COVID.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was the year I was like, oh, I'm going to go to this and this, and then it was like,
No, you're not.
Canceled.
Yeah, I went to KBIS and then Workbench Con, and then it was like then everything shut down.
Yeah.
Like immediately after Workbench Con.
Yeah, because had tickets to go to Spring Make.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
So I was like, I can't go to both. Like, I got to go to one or the other. And I was like, I went to Workbench Con once. I'll just go to Spring Make this time. And it canceled. I was like, dang, I didn't get to do anything. But I know Workbench Con is going on right now, right?
Yeah, I think, does it technically start today or tomorrow?
Maybe tomorrow.
Yeah.
Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Workbench Con is one of those things where I think one time is enough.
Yeah. That was my first, I did a couple maker fairs, and then I went to, that's where I met Jimmy, was at Maker Fair.
Mm-hmm.
And then for the first time I met him. And then we did Workbench Con right after that. And it's okay. But I mean, it's 200 people that do what you do and are vying for this exact same 10 to 12 to 20 vendors that are there.
I know.
So,
And now I think it's like 500 people.
Yeah. And it's a lot. It's very expensive.
And there's a lot of ego involved. I feel like, you got to deal with a lot of people who are a little full of themselves.
Yeah. Yep.
A lot of chest puffing and peacocking going on.
Yeah. I've got this many subscribers.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Good for you.
You put videos up.
People like, they don't outright say it, but it's like, you don't know who I am kind of thing.
Right. Why are you talking to me?
Yeah.
Yeah. I've gotten that a couple times. Yeah. I was the first year I had just put out that pocket hole workstation thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I gave plans to one of those type people because they had asked, and I was like, sure. And he's like, oh yeah, I was thinking about making one of these myself. And I'm like, oh, okay. So when I see my design on your page,
right.
But it is what it is.
John talks about that too. It's like, we'll talk about something or do something, or he'll do something. It's like, man, I got to make a video about this so that somebody doesn't just take my idea.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I got to put my name on it before somebody else takes it.
Right. Like I've talked with a couple people about something that I'm going to incorporate into this. It's kind of like a miter station.
Mm-hmm.
It's cabinets with a miter saw on it.
Right.
So it's not, based around it, but there's a feature that I want to put on it that I haven't seen done yet. And I've only told
don't say
I'm not, but I talked to Chris from Make Everything.
Yep.
And he's been a really good friend to me over the years, got me really started going and everything. And I told him, he's like, oh, that's great. You got to do it. I think that was 3 years ago, 4 years ago. And I told him the other day, I was like, I got to send him a message. And hey, I'm finally going to do it. So
you're going to start shooting the video, and then you're going to get it's going to pop up on your YouTube.
Yeah,
the ultimate miter saw.
Exactly. It's going to be dang it. No, I had that. It was coming. Yeah. Yeah. So I got to get back into it. I don't think it's been 2 years since I did a video. I tried to record a lot before I had the shoulder surgery, the replacement. And that's when I was doing those videos with John.
Yep.
And I got back and during recovery, I was just doing small videos that I filmed already. And they just never took off. And I did one every week for a good 8 weeks. And it didn't pick up back again. And stuff happens, life happens. And I just haven't put another one out yet.
Yeah, it's easy to get burnt out. Instagram, I'm lucky if I post not even once a month.
Yeah.
Because I just get burnt out. I'm in here trying to get stuff done, Exactly. And that's the thing too. If you're trying to build out your shop, if you're trying to record all this, it's going to take 3 times as long.
Yes.
Yeah. And then you're trying to think about the shot and what you're going to say and how it's going to, be combined to become this little movie, for lack of a better term. Then you're losing focus on the project itself.
Exactly.
So then you make mistakes.
Yep. Yeah. So I've actually with these, when you're building a cabinet, you don't need to watch me build 5 cabinets or 15 or 20, 30 drawers. One.
Yeah.
That's enough. And then then I shut the camera off and then I just crank out the other 30.
Yeah. 30 seconds of each little task, you know, that's when John comes by, same thing. We'll, you usually shoot a lead in to what's about to happen. And then you get a little footage of the thing. And then he just comes back in when I'm wrapping up, you know what I mean? And going on to the next thing.
Yeah. See, one thing I don't do is I don't actually talk to the camera during the build.
Mm-hmm.
So that kind of helps me out a little bit.
Yeah.
I think I probably do better. People might like them better if I did something like that. You know, this is why I'm doing this, rather than just say it during the voiceover.
Yeah.
So
you feel, do you edit the video and then do the voiceover, or do you do them kind of at the same time?
No, I've been doing the video, editing all the video down, because then sometimes if you do the audio and the video and like try to cut them all together at the same time, the audio tends to be longer than the actual clip you're working on. So by the time you get the whole sentence out, you're already like 3 steps down the road.
That's what I was going to say. Like I've tried to like do it on like an Instagram reel or something. I have a hard time like trying to fit what I'm trying to say like into the allotted amount of time. Yeah,
I definitely do it after. I tried doing it in the beginning. I tried doing it one way, but it's all about time. Like everybody wants to do the Jimmy DiResta video where it's just
time lapse.
Lapse and just crank it up and just no talking, no nothing, and but not everybody's Jimmy.
Yeah, I think that ship has sailed. Like he did it, and now it's like you can't do it anymore. No,
right.
That was his thing.
Yep.
And it was so popular because it really hadn't been done,
right,
I guess, before.
Yeah.
And
he did his, like the voiceover ones were on his Patreon page. So, but yeah, I mean, I'd love it to just have someone record. I don't have to worry about it.
Yep.
I have to edit. That'd be awesome.
That's what we always said. It's like, man, because like when our social media started to pick up a little bit a couple years ago, I said like, man, I would love to just have like a full-time cameraman just, because it's so easy to document what's going on. But if you're trying to do both, like do the thing and document it, it's next to impossible.
One of them is going to be done half-assed.
Yeah, exactly. And it's going to make things take so much longer. Yep. That's, this today's Craftsman thing is great because John does the filming and the editing, and, we do the, and, John gets in the videos too, but for the most part, we're doing whatever is being filmed, and it's great. And he really enjoys that. And I really enjoy this. So it's a great combination.
Yeah. Have John come over and film a video for me.
Yeah. John's going to have like 6 channels.
Yeah. Yeah. That was fun. I like doing that.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. John's fun to shoot with. He's good at, leading you to water.
Yeah.
He's like, what do you think about this? He's just, he's got an eye for how the video.
Yep.
Me, it's like, he's got like a storyboard in his head. It's like, if I tried to do it, it'd just be all over the place.
I mean, when you do as many videos as he's done, you get like to understand what works, what doesn't work. And, yeah. So I'm still trying to figure that out. And that's the thing is like, I love doing it. And I love putting out the videos and everything. It's so much work. And then now it's been so long that I'm like, how did I do that? How did I set up that project in Final Cut? How did I do,
And the game's changing every 2 weeks, as to.
I have 0 shorts on my YouTube channel. And everybody's like, oh, what are you doing? I'm like, I haven't put a video out in so long. Like, I could take the videos and cut them down and make them shorts, but that's how long it's been since I've done a video.
Maybe that's what you should do is just put out a bunch of shorts.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, you never know. The most unexciting little 30-second clips are the ones that go millions of. We have one on the Today's Craftsman now that's got like 260,000. It's just like John cutting a little miter on the miter slit I made. Like we thought it was going to go nowhere. It's just like, I might as well just throw this up.
Yeah, why not?
And next thing you know, it's like picked up like 1,000.
Yeah.
1,000 followers.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
I mean, the channel's still growing, but I mean, I'm not anywhere near like some of these people, like they started well after I did and they're already over 100, 200,000. I mean, obviously it's these, like KJ Sawdust, like he started YouTube late, but he already had such a big following on Instagram that his channel just blew up overnight.
Yeah. It's funny how like some people are pretty proportional on platforms. And then some people are like way swing. And like you might have somebody on YouTube who's got like hundreds of thousands of subs. And then but on Instagram, they're like relatively unknown. It's crazy how there's like sort of this separation sometimes.
Yeah. And then with sponsors, it's, how many Instagram you follow? It's like, well, I've only have like 2,000.
Mm-hmm.
But I've got like this many thousand on YouTube, and they still, it's some like YouTube, some like Instagram,
TikTok.
TikTok.
Are you on TikTok?
I am, but I think I've got, if I have 10 videos on there, that's a lot.
Yeah. I started one for Greene Street. You always start out gung ho. You're like, all right, I'm going to do it. I'm going to make sure I cross post everything here.
Oh yeah.
Because people are making money on TikTok.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And Facebook apparently. But then, like anything, it fizzles out.
Yeah.
I started one for today's Craftsman a couple weeks ago. I posted like 4 things and then I haven't been on it since.
Yeah.
I'm like, we got like 9 followers.
Yeah. Like when I moved in, I'm like, oh, the shop's coming along. We got so many projects to go. And then it's like crickets for like 6 to 8 months. And I'm like, yeah, here's the project, this picture of this. Like we have electrical done, and
they're like, wait, who are you again?
Yeah. The project, and then I see people at Maker Cam. They're like, oh, dude, hey, how's it going? I haven't seen you in a while. Like you still doing stuff. I'm like, well, I'm here. So yes, it's just not posted.
Just hasn't been documented.
Yeah. Life gets in the way and life changes, happens, and it sucks.
Yeah. Yeah. And you got to focus on the most important things. You can't always, things have to take a back seat sometimes.
Yeah. Everything takes a back seat to soccer.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Just wait till he's in high school.
It's a lot now. Can't imagine. Not looking forward to it.
Well, you have any closing words for all our fine listeners?
Don't really. Just try to keep making stuff. Like I still make stuff. I've done a bunch of projects. I did a flower cart for a local florist in Allentown.
Oh, nice.
And she's great. I've did a couple projects for like people I work with and stuff like that, like a Christmas tree box stand thing.
Mm-hmm.
But again, I took pictures and I did that, not video, just pictures. Did I post them? No, not yet. I have plans to post them all though,
It's the intention that matters.
It really is. It's just attention or intentions don't pay the bills.
That's true.
So I still collect a little bit of a check every month from YouTube, which is nice.
Yeah. What do they say? All the pennies add up.
They do. Yeah. Even like the couple $30-$40 from Amazon affiliate links helps,
Yeah.
So it's nice. I actually went through and figured out how much like a video actually made. And I'm like, oh, well, that definitely was worth, making the video and this, that, and doing the plans. Cause that's the other thing. You got the plans and put it on your website and put it here and put it there. And it's a lot.
Yeah. And then you can put ads on the website and get your Google AdSense there and a blog. And, it's like anything.
It's a full-time job.
Exactly. That's the thing. You got to try and find the time to figure it all out and do it. And, let's be honest, at the end of the day, we're all tired.
Yeah, exactly. There's been a couple of days I'm like, all right, I just got to go out to the shop. And I do. And then I'm like, all right, this is fun. I got I had a day off and I just made drawer boxes all day.
Mm-hmm.
Film one and then build the rest of them.
That was like the website. I've been putting that off. It's been on I have like a little list on Millinote of all the stuff I got to do. Yeah. And it's been on there. Today's Craftsman website. And it's just been there. Yeah. It's just been there.
Yeah.
And so finally today, I just buckled down and did it.
Yeah. And I haven't touched my website in a while, which is sad because that's what I do full time.
Right.
So I'm like, if anybody knows they should be maintaining their website, updating this, it's me. And I'm too busy doing everybody else's website.
You're the shoemaker whose children don't have shoes.
Yeah. He has cleats though.
Yeah.
He has cleats.
More than one pair, I'm sure.
Yeah. You got turf, you got firm ground.
Yep.
Yeah. It's nuts. It's nuts.
Well, thanks for coming in.
Yeah. Thanks for having me again.
You're one of our most, I always struggle with trying to find a word for this. You've been on the show some of the most times out of anybody.
I think
three or four times.
3 or 4.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think maybe 2. No, definitely 2. This is probably
3.
3. Yeah.
It's definitely at least 3.
Because I came in once when you had someone else here. You had 3 people working here.
Oh, Rich was with us then. Yeah. Oh, wow.
And
then you came in either
when it was just you and Rob.
Either right before or right after your shoulder surgery. I think right after.
Was it? No, it was before because I went and did a video with John and then came right over. To
Okay.
you guys. Yeah. So that was, it was right before. That was in 2020.
Wow.
Yeah. It's been a couple of years.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Time flies. We've been at this podcast for that long.
Yeah. Yeah. It's nuts.
Well, we appreciate everybody listening.
Yeah, absolutely.
Hopefully you enjoyed, and see you next week.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
We truly appreciate you listening. If you want to support the show, leave us a review on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. Share the show with your friends or consider subscribing to our Patreon. We'll see you next week.